Check out this sweet pink children's sewing machine that I won at an online auction for a whole $6 recently. This is the Sears Lockstitch Child Sewing Machine, model number 4919741. I couldn't find out much about the history of this machine online at all, but the box says that it was made in France and that it was imported for the Canadian market for Simpson Sears. I'm assuming that this machine is from the 1970s or the early 80s, since Simpson Sears officially changed its name to Sears Canada in 1984. Let's unbox this. First, take note of that little girl in the box sewing on her machine backwards. She's a skilled child, isn't she? So first impressions, this machine is very lightweight and plasticky. Something inside the machine is bouncing around, which isn't really a good sign for my first impression, but what is a good sign is that the machine is not jammed when moving the hand wheel. Thank goodness. The foot pedal is pretty tiny, but this is for kids, so that's fine. What else is in this box? It includes a butterick pattern for a little girl's dress. It looks like the previous owner took it out of the envelope but didn't actually cut into the pieces. I'm so glad that the manual is included in my box. I have no idea what this yellow thingy is. I don't think it's supposed to be here. Look at this adorable bobbin case and these tiny bobbins. Now what isn't in the box is the hand crank that slides into the hand wheel. That's too bad. There's a battery compartment on the bottom and the side features a DC input. Adapters sold separately, of course. I'm ready with a set of D batteries, so let's pop these in and see if this thing works. What the?
What?
Oh, it does go in. It just felt like it was going to break. I mentioned that this machine is very lightweight. To make sure it doesn't just fly off your table while you're sewing, you'll need to clamp it onto the table edge with this metal hook. Let's start by turning on the on switch, which is found on the foot pedal right here. I'm going to be honest here, winding a bobbin on this machine is really difficult compared to any adult sewing machine I've ever tried. I feel very sorry for children who had to struggle with this. Before we start, remember that I don't have the hand crank piece. The instructions say to use the hand crank when starting the bobbin. Keep in mind that if you do use the hand crank, you'll need to remove it anytime you're using the foot pedal. Start by turning the hand wheel until the needle is raised as high as it can go. Pop a spool of thread onto the spool pin, pull the thread to the metal thread guide, then pull the thread towards the hand wheel. Bring about 2 inches of thread through the hole in the rim of one of the bobbins from the inside out. You can see that there is a bobbin winder spring to the left of the hand wheel, right here. Gently press on it and place the bobbin on it, with the threaded end facing forward. Hold the thread out and turn the hand wheel clockwise a few times to get the bobbin started. Snip off the extra thread that is hanging from the bobbin rim. Now you can continue to wind the bobbin by pressing the foot. Continue to wind the bobbin. You can switch to the foot pedal now instead of the hand crank if you were using that. Keep on going until the bobbin is full. You'll need to use your finger so that it winds evenly, because it naturally just wants to sit in one area instead of filling up the entire length of the bobbin. The machine came with a little piece of paper in the box, warning you that you need to manually apply pressure to the bobbin so the bobbin actually catches against the mechanism. This seems like a huge design flaw to me, and the fact that it's not included on the main instructions makes me think that this was a manufacturing issue and not the intended functionality. Suspicious. Do you agree? Anyway, you can see that it's a struggle to get the bobbin to wind evenly and with proper tension. Here's my first bobbin attempt, which was pretty much garbage. As I said, I feel like this is much more difficult than a standard sewing machine. Something to watch out for if you're having difficulty winding the bobbin, check to make sure that the bobbin isn't damaged. One of the 3 bobbins included with the machine didn't have a proper hole in the rim. The thread kept popping out of the groove. It wasn't until I compared all 3 of the bobbins to each other that I realized what the problem was. How to insert the bobbin. Leave a tail hanging down from your bobbin, then slide the bobbin into the bobbin case. Hold your finger at the end of the bobbin to keep it from moving. Pull the thread into the slot of the bobbin case and up into the tension spring. Holding the bobbin carefully, insert the bobbin into the bobbin case holder with the flat side forward. Hold the thread end and close the slide plate. Leave at least 2 inches hanging outside of the slide plate. How to thread. Start by making sure that the needle is as high as it will go. Place a spool of thread on the spool pin. Pull the thread through the first thread guide. Pull the thread down and between the tension discs, then back up through the take-up lever. Pull the thread down to the needle and thread it from front to back. Bring up the bobbin thread by holding the tail of the top thread in your left hand. Pull the hand wheel until the bobbin thread appears as a loop. Then pull the loop with your fingers and pull both the top and the bottom threads under the foot of the machine. Then you're ready to sew. You can sew with either the hand crank, if you have it, or the foot pedal. So I had a weird problem when I was first setting up this machine, where my bobbin would just pop out of the bobbin case all the time, and I couldn't figure out what was happening, and the previous owner had the tension way too tight. So if this happens, loosen the tension by turning the tension dial to the left. Once I loosened the tension, my bobbin stayed in the bobbin case where it was supposed to be, and I was able to keep going. Here's an example of what the stitches look like, keeping in mind that I haven't done much tension adjustment yet. I'm not super worried about getting a perfect stitch because honestly, I don't plan to actually use this machine to sew a garment. I'll just be keeping it as a novelty item on my shelf. Now that I've shown you the basics of how to use this machine, I'm going to share some of my personal opinions about it. First, what I love about it. I'm a sucker for pink. This machine is absolutely adorable. I love that it includes its own carrying case to keep it from getting dusty or damaged. And the machine is lightweight and easy to take with you, if you wanted to take it with you. And what I really love about this the most is that it's a real sewing machine with a real needle. Some of the more modern kid sewing machines I've been seeing lately have totally barricaded the needle area within plastic, which limits what you can do. Most kids are capable of understanding that the needle will be sharp and to be careful. But there are some things that I dislike about this machine. There's a fake hand wheel on the side of the machine where normally it would live on any other machine, and you naturally want to try to turn it, but this machine's mechanism is wholly on the front, so it's just in the way. There doesn't appear to be any way to adjust the stitch length, which limits your creativity. And as I mentioned during the bobbin winding segment, winding the bobbin is just awful, and the results are not clean. I think if I was given this gift as a kid, the frustration would have resulted in me not wanting to sew. That's not what a child sewing machine should do. These types of child sewing machines, although adorable because of their small size, have the downside of being made with cheaper materials and simplified mechanics. If I were to buy a machine for a child, I would go for one of these two options instead. Option 1. I would buy an all-metal, vintage straight stitch machine that has stood the test of time. I think a Singer 99 or Singer 15 would be perfect, and they can be found cheaper than most of the cheap plastic machines from a big box store. They're in my thrift stores all the time. Or option 2, if I wanted to ensure that I got a warranty and a return policy, I think I would opt for just the most inexpensive starter machine from a big box store that was made for adults. I think the value of an adult sewing machine far outweighs the limited functionality of a child sewing machine. So I guess I kind of went off on a rant there, didn't I? I'm a bit passionate about allowing children the opportunity to learn the skills that they want to learn with the equipment that won't limit their experience. If they're responsible enough and are being supervised, I'm all for kids using the real deal. So my final verdict on this sewing machine. When my son is a little older, I know I will not be teaching him how to sew on this Sears child sewing machine. However, this machine is cute, and I like having the piece of history now that Sears Canada is fully out of business. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject, so feel free to leave me a comment on this video. Also, do you or did you own this Sears sewing machine? If you know anything about it, including your thoughts on its age, please let me know. I'm super interested in its history, but it's just not out there. If you liked this walk down memory lane, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more crafty videos. Until next time, this is Craftcore signing off.